Alright, so already this is a second cut, but these are the second cuts that I make myself. Because sometimes when I have the books I'll be reading for the next few weeks video, I will do a second cut because I change some books around. Take some books out, replace them with other books, and so on and so forth, or add some books. In this case, it was the latter. Sorry, it's the former. I replaced some books with other books. I was like, yeah, I don't want to read that one right now. But these are all in my personal collection. And while a good majority of these I've read before, one of these off the top of my head that I can think of, it was not that long ago. These are all like ones that I'm like so eager to read, I guess you'd say, no matter what. So it's kind of like a banger, as they say. I guess that's what I was trying to get at. But without further ado, let's get into it. That out of my way. And that out of my way. Alright. So, for one of the first times ever, this is going to be floppies and trades. Usually it's just trades because I don't like reviewing floppies, I guess. I just never think to. I think even when I reviewed... I don't think I ever did that. I don't know. But actually, I never technically reviewed that newest volume of Symbiote Spider-Man. I said Superior. Of Symbiote Spider-Man because it was in floppies. And I put the floppies away like an idiot. And that's how, it's because I usually don't keep the floppies in the trades together when I have it in my little stack of the books I'll be reviewing, because I put them in little stacks. So then once I finish, I put them in the same stack, no matter what their personal collection or library books, put them in the same stack at the foot of my bed, so I know that all those are ones I have not reviewed yet. Without further ado, let's get into it. First one up is Amazing Fantasy 5-issue series. And for the floppies, I'll say how many issues there are. Or is one exception where it's technically both a trade and a floppy. You'll see what I mean in a second here. But I will say how many issues it is. This is 5 issues. This for floppies only. 5 issues and 5-issue miniseries, Amazing Fantasy, written by Carrie Andrews. Now, why am I saying who the author is? Well, the reason for why that is because this is the stack of the, hey, I got this book, I got an book from Image Comics by Carrie Andrews a while ago, but I still got something from him to celebrate. I want to read something by Carrie Andrews. Now, ordinarily, I would have that, like some of them would be that, and some of the others, like Tom Taylor, who hasn't written anything for Image, but I still have it in that pile regardless. No. What I started doing when I started my job, ironically enough, I was like, I've always wanted to do this where it's either one or the other. So every other video like this, it will be, except for some exceptions, of course. This is the in-between. This is the to hold me over until the next books come in. But this in the next time will be the, hey, these guys did work for Image Comics to celebrate getting stuff from any other publisher. And the other one is like books from like Tom Taylor and Philip Kennedy Johnson, Brad Meltzer, technically Alan Moore, all those authors who have not written anything for Image. So I call a miscellaneous pile. That's what I've been doing for a long time now. I really like doing that. I know it makes no sense to most people, and most people are like, who cares? But I'm one of those people that cares. And why Image specifically? Well, I've had the best luck with them. So when I get books from my personal collection, physically, they're almost always going to be Image. Like 9 out of 10 times it's going to be Image. Anyways, Amazing Fantasy 5-issue series, Carrie Andrews. This is a reread, and I don't have the dog. I was like, wait, I usually have some OGNs. I can put those first. No, I don't. Because I'm trying to get these read ASAP. Hence why not a whole lot of these are more than like 6 issues, except for 2, 3, 4. I think 4. But yes, Amazing Fantasy. A select few, I should say. 6 issues, I believe, for Jessica Jones Blind Spot, written by Kelly Thompson. This is a great example of a book that I have read so many times that I could do a comic story and video on this book right now, right this second. I wouldn't even need to reread it. Maybe a few details I missed, which is why I'm rereading it. It has been a little while since I've read this, but I probably could still do that regardless, without needing to do much else. Like not needing to do a whole lot of refreshing. Now, why do I read books so often and just in general? Well, you have the case with Amazing Fantasy and Jessica Jones' Blind Spot, where it's just a series I really liked and I want to read again. The every 6-month rule. Same applies to Robin and Batman, that 3-issue prestige series from DC Comics, written by Jeff Lemire. So what's nice about this is that spoiler alert, it's gonna be 25 comics I'm gonna be reading per day starting on Saturday and ending on Monday, but not late on Monday. Really just Saturday and Sunday. I had the 3-day weekend, and to celebrate, I was like, let's go back to basics, back to the way things were before I had a job, and read 25 comics per day for 2 days. It's a lot more of a treat, so to speak, when it's like Christmas vacation or a week-long vacation. That's why summer is gonna be so awesome. I cannot wait until the summer because of that reason. And it is double-edged sword, because sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm really glad I keep it to 11 regardless of whether or not I have a day off. Keeping it to 11 comics per day. But also I'm like, well, you know, I would like to have 2 days off, maybe because on a regular weekend. Maybe on Saturday I read 25. Why not? And I always like, probably not. Yeah, I was thinking that to myself last weekend. Glad I did not do that. But also kind of not. Alright, moving on. Suicide Squad Get Joker by Brian Azzarello. Yet another series I really, really liked, so I'm rereading it. 3-issue series, by the way. Prestige Plus. So what's the difference between Prestige and Prestige Plus DC Black Label? Well, this isn't even Black Label. This is just Prestige Edition for DC Comics. But this is just a little bit thicker than your average comic. Not any longer in length, but in length of how many pages, yes. But not taller or wider than your average comic issue floppy. But it is thicker, and they use cardstock and just better material. But Prestige Plus is these album vinyl, almost vinyl size books from DC Comics. I really like this Prestige Plus format. I wish that more, it'd be nice if more comic publishers did that. Like Image, it'd be nice for them to do that more often. They have been doing it a little bit more often, I guess, but not really. Like, actually, honestly, I take it back. 4-issue miniseries for The Question, The Deaths of Vic Sage, written by Jeff Lemire. Yet again, I both want to read it again. But I wasn't like too crazy about this. I remember not being too crazy about it. I said I liked it enough, I think. Honestly, I don't remember. So it really is a reread to redeem. I didn't really like it the first time. I feel like I should like it a lot more. So I'm reading again to redeem it, you know. Redeem its bad reputation in my eyes, which is not the case for The Question. I don't remember ever being bored with that comic, which is kind of insane because that's 50 pages per issue, and you really did feel the extra length, regardless of how I felt about it. So books like Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, I decided to read not one at a time, but 2 volumes of this series at one time, in one sitting. Because we have some 12-issue series. I was like, you know what? If I'm good reading a 12-issue series all in one sitting, meaning all at one time, I'm not going to read half of it, take a break for a few weeks, and come back on it. Or like with this, because it's 2 separate volumes, read volume 1 this time, and next time read volume 2. And it's like, you know what? I'm doing a 12-issue miniseries all at once. So let's do let's do 2 volumes at once. That's 10 issues. But yes, this is a reread too. This is the 3rd criteria. Now, I doubt this is kind of a bad example because I know my library does not have the entire series, but let's say they did. Let's say they finally got all the trades, or hell, even the omnibuses of Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer. That would fall into the 3rd criteria, and that is rereading the series to refresh my memory, so when I get to the volumes that I have not read yet, I know what's going on. And I know full well what's going on. Have fresh in my memory, all that shit. Oh, and spoilers, they're all from I think I mentioned before, but none of these are library books. All PC, personal collection. Yes, first 2 volumes of Nick Spencer's run on Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this is the one that I said was technically both floppies and a trade also, and it's like it was both. And that's because my local comic shop at first had this entire series, had the first 4 issues of Strange Adventures. They never got issues 5 through 12, and if they did, they never got issue 5, and then it was 6 through 12, but they never got issue 5. So I was always, behind. And I didn't want to spend the money to, because DC floppies for the most part, 9 times out of 10, are full price on their digital website, which is bullshit. Absolute bullshit that that's the case. Marvel, once the tree comes out, the issues are $2 a pop, because they know that sometimes you're missing just one issue from the trade, or they add in something that shouldn't be in there, like Ms. Marvel issue 1, because the Ms. Marvel series itself is only 4 issues. So they give you a bonus, and they give you the first issue of her ongoing, way back from 1977. That probably has nothing to do with the 4-issue miniseries that precedes it. That's what Marvel will do sometimes. So I have an added bonus. So for the most part, they figure, oh, you're missing issue 5. You'll give you issue 5 for $2, so you have the full series now. But DC is like, nope, still full price. Image, after let's say it's a 6-issue series. Once issue 6 comes out, issues 1 through 5, regardless of when the trade is coming out, is now $2 each, for the most part. But it's just such bullshit. And it's not even like they're that much longer than your average comic floppy either. And it's like 32 pages, so 10 pages longer. It does not justify it being $5 on Kindle. Now, sometimes they will have sales, but it's usually on the trays and not on the floppies. Which that's nice, because Strange Adventures was $2 not too long. Like a few weeks ago, we get that whole entire hardcover 12-issue series for I think $2 or $3. So at that point, it was like screw. So if I still didn't have the entire 12-issue series at that point, I would have said screw it and got the trade for $2 on the Kindle. I've done that for a bunch of series. I did that last year for Task Force Z, and I have not looked back since. And I'm really glad that I did that. Anyways, back on topic. First 4 issues are in floppies, written by Tom King, and then the trade itself, the hardcover itself, obviously collects all 12 issues. This is a reread to redeem. I just wanted to read again. I don't know why I'm specifying that like that. I'm saying it so weird like that. But I am. I don't know what I was trying to get at. I feel like it was like something I forgot to mention, I feel. Yeah, Tom King is not my favorite writer at all. I kind of am in the middle. People that say, oh, he's absolutely awful, he hasn't written anything good. I'm like, yeah, well, there are a few, but a very select few. And honestly, I think I need to reread Vision, because that'll be the ultimate test to, for me to say whether or not I even like Tom King anymore. If he's just kind of gone out of style in my eyes, or was just like, I liked him back then because that's what I wanted for comics back then. What's the word people use? I outgrew him. Or I outgrew him. It was just that fad back in the day, and that's just a yesterday's news kind of thing. But I don't think so. I think I'll still say that Vision holds up. But time will tell for that. We are getting a bit far ahead of ourselves. Another Tom King book they always have to read alongside Strange Adventures, even though each has nothing to do with the other, and that is his Rorschach series. Ironic that I'm reading this right after Watchmen, I know. Partially planned that, but only partially. Absolution by Christos Gage. This is kind of an example of refreshing my memory, because I have both volumes of this series, but volume 2 I've not read before, but volume 1 I have. So I wanted to read this in that case. And also, I really liked it. I really dug this. This was my pick of the week that time I read that, and it wasn't that long ago either. It's like a few months ago. Another Tom King book. Just really getting on Tom King this week, apparently, or this time apparently. And this is actually one that I can say that I really liked, and that is Superman Up in the Sky. Tom King should have wrote more for Superman than he ever did for Batman. I want to live in a world where he only had a 6-issue series, a 6-issue series for Marvel, and sorry, I want to live in a world where he has 6-issue run on Batman, because it's the 6 issues, or DC, not Marvel, DC, and had a really long run on Superman. It's the exact vice versa. But unfortunately, we live in a world where he's only done at least 6 issues of Superman from DC. I don't know why I have Marvel in the brain. But yes, 6 issues. I do have the first 3 issues in floppies, but I don't. They're all the way in the basement, and I'm too lazy to go grab them. No, I just forgot. But honestly, either excuse is not. This goes to show what kind of person I am. Either really forgetful or really lazy. For the most part, like I say, definitely at the house, I'm lazier than I am at work. Obviously, at work it's kind of funny. Like at work, I never tend to be lazy, which is good. I think that shows how strong a worker I am. But when I'm at the house, I'm that kind of guy who the charger's on the floor, and instead of getting up and bending over to grab it, I reach over like this, and it's more effort to do that than it is to get up, bend down, grab it. However, it just seems more cost effective for me to reach over like this. I'm that kind of guy. That perfectly describes what I mean by how I'm lazy when I'm at the house. Anyways. Or is outside of work. 2 volumes of Nick Spencer's X-Men Ultimate Comics run. I think this is 12 issues, right? Yes, 12 issues. But then after that, it's Brian Wood. Now, and I'm so pissed off my library does not have that series. This is pretty good. I remember it's being pretty damn good. A little bit, a little choppy here and there, but overall decent. Like I gave like a 6 out of 10. So I'd say it's kind of it's technically in the middle of a every 6-month rule because I really liked it, and a reread to redeem. Sometimes you do have that. Sometimes I will have that where it's kind of in the middle. But the next one I really dug, and that is Grant Morrison's magnum opus, All-Star Superman. That was just like fantastic. However, I don't remember liking it as much as everyone else did. And again, I need to reread this book in order for me to really, really dig this one. Because again, like I've mentioned a bunch of times with these magnum opus books that everyone loves and everyone has like a 9 out of 10 at the very least on their scale from 1 to 10, I go into it with high expectations. But now that I have the expectations that I have, I think rereading this, I'll like it a lot more because I won't have such high expectations. Ridiculously high expectations, if you will. Another floppy, so I'm going to tell you guys how many issues this series is. I'm going too fast, I'm not. Like I'm mentioning everything I need to mention. Four issue miniseries for the Sword of Hyperborea by Rob Williams, and co-written by Mike Mignola. But I almost want to say that Mike Mignola is the James Patterson of comics, where the co-author is actually the writer, and Mike Mignola just slaps his name on it to boost sales. Could be wrong about that, but I'm sure I am. But this really didn't. It's really not like a Mike Mignola book. It seemed like the writing style, at least. Story-wise, yes, so I could believe that he wrote the story. But dialogue and everything else-wise, script-wise, it seemed to be different than Mike Mignola. I could be wrong, but just put it that way. And in fact, it's a lot of time, so I do have the right to say that. But Rob Williams, most importantly. And then what else was I going to mention? 4-issue miniseries. Oh, I've just read this a bunch of times. I really like it. Nice, fast-paced story. Like, really fast-paced story. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to do Rob Williams back-to-back, because there's 2 Rob Williams books, and they're basically on the same page. Basically, I did back-to-back with Tom King anyways, and they're both rereads. So, Old Haunts by Rob Williams, trades, I'm not going to say how many issues it is. Really dug this one. And then we have a 12-issue series by Warren Ellis, which is The Batman's Grave. One of the most underrated comics, and, it's underrated comics of the last, 5 years? I wouldn't go so far as to say 10, but ever since this book came out, how many years it's been since this book came out? That many years. That's how underrated it is. Since then. Nobody talks about it. Yeah, I know why, but you take that out of consideration. You do separate the art from the artist, then maybe, just maybe, you can find a way. You can enjoy a pretty damn underrated book. Moving on to Lois Lane by Greg Rucka. This series I read back during the summer, so I not only have the right to say this, but am completely justified in saying this, that this is one of the most overhated books ever. People dropped this after issue 1 because, God forbid, there were a lot of Donald Trump allegories and connections. From what I could tell, and the guy that reviewed it did do his homework and did do his research, and was like, hey, this is where it makes it most apparent. This is where it's most apparent that this is the Trump Orange Man bad issue. And I will give credit where credit is due. He was right on the money. However, once you get past issue 1, even issue 1 is well written enough, it's fine. Like, nothing, no more Trump shit at that point. It's actually a story from here on out after issue 1. So if you don't like issue 1 because of that reason, I would say stick with it and you'll actually enjoy the series. Greg Rucka is a damn good writer, and nowhere is that more apparent than in his Lois Lane series. He's right at home with his favorite genre in this book, without giving too much away. Now we have the 2 Image books. It's the last reread, and then we're on to I'll double check, and then we're on to the ones I have not read yet. Now, this first one is, my brain shook again in about a few seconds. Oh, okay, so this one is one that I did not like, and it's from an author that is really damn good. I really like his writing. So I was surprised that I wasn't so crazy about Rick Remender's Death or Glory. Absolutely fell in love with his Black Science, fell in love with his Venom run, and his Captain America run I actually like. So reading this, I should have liked this. I didn't. To be fair, his Uncanny X-Force is kind of strange, I will say. I need to go back to the beginning. I haven't finished the Omnibus yet, but I'm just going to go back to the beginning and start from there, because it's been way too long since I've read that series, and I need to just bite the bullet and just read it from start to finish and just keep going and not take any breaks like I was before. Just like keep going, no matter what. But yes, Rick Remender's Death or Glory. Nice. I love this format, by the way. This absolute format. It's not a make or break it for me, but when I get it, it's worth every penny. Especially if the artwork is by Bengal. Or someone. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have isolated it. I meant to say something like, especially if the artwork is really good, like how it is in here. Because it's Bengal artwork. The next Image book, and we're starting on the books that I have not read yet, and we're still trying to make sure that's the case. Yes. We decided yes, but we're not 100% sure that one. Yes. 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 Okay. So this next one is 3 volumes. It's a 3-volume series, but it's 15 issues total, right? Or is it 18? If it's 18, it's kind of a lot. But nope, 17. So yeah, kind of a lot, but it's fine. And that is Meredith Finch's Rose, Volume 1, 2, and 3. So, starting in February, I am going to do I am going to, for at least one of them. So, okay, so for the Image books, let's go back a little bit. So, when I do the Image authors, the Image comics pile, no, Image authors pile, where it's, David M. Boowood is the thing for Dark Horse, but I have everything he's done for Image, so I want to check out what he's done for Dark Horse, or for Marvel, or DC, or any other publisher. That's what the Image authors pile is all about. But when I do that, at least once per month, I want to add a book from my personal collection that's also from Image. And starting in February, I'm going to do at least one of them will be one book that I bought back last year in February 2022 or 2023. Sorry, 2 years ago. 2 years ago in 2023, because that was the first full year of me getting nothing but Image. Again, with one minor exception, but it was still Image books per month. I got some Image, and a couple of them were from a different publisher, but for the most part, they were all Image. At least 5 of them were from Image Comics at that point. But that's all I'll be doing, and I'm very excited to do that. I couldn't do it January because I wanted to do one that was a bit longer. Because I wanted to replace the one that I replaced it with was 11 issues, so I wanted to do one that was at least that length or more. So hence why I picked Rose. And I like that this is the only thing that Meredith Finch has done for Image. So I kind of like that novelty, because that other book I was going to pick would have been the only thing the author did for Image. It was a 2-volume series, and volume 2 is not written by him, but still, that's the case. Or it's co-written by him, but still, you get the point. Yes, Rose, all 3 volumes, 17 issues. Let's move on to Batman Killing Time by Tom King. A lot of Tom King again. It's not technically planned, but I was like, you know what, at this point, screw it. All 6 issues of his Batman Killing Time series. Now, the first 3 I have in floppies, and after that, it's digital, Kindle. So sometimes I will get trade because trade will be cheap, but very rarely. It's very rare DC Comics does this, but once every blue moon they will put the floppies on sale, and I was fortunate enough to be getting digital books and to have enough money to get some digital books. I had some money left over from Christmas. They do it at the end of the year. They do the huge sales at the end of the year, and I was fortunate enough to have a little bit of spending money, and so I got the rest of this series on Kindle, because again, local comic shop did not have the rest of the series in floppies. You want to know why I stopped getting floppies? That's a big reason why. And also, this book right here, this thin-ass book, is $4. No, actually, sorry. $5. No way that should be that expensive. It should be, honestly, that people have proven that comics can be $2 per issue. And if they're a little bit longer, like the 33-page issue 1s from Marvel, then fine, make it $2.99. But should not go above $3.99 unless it's a Prestige Plus book. Those are fairly priced. I'll give you that. But other than that, unfairly priced. And I'm never going to get a floppy ever again. Unless they're at a local comic shop in the dollar bin. And even then, I'll probably just go to the trades. I love getting trades. Trades just look so damn good on the shelf. The only time I'll get floppies is if that's a series that has no trade. There are plenty of those from Image. So, hence that one exception. This is Ultimate X-Men Volume 1 by Mark Millar. Now this is kind of funny because I read a little bit of Volume 2, but not any of Volume 1. You can tell how I used to collect comics back then, and how long I've had that series, because that was so long ago that I didn't care back then. And then I got a rude awakening from one series, and I was like, okay, so we're not doing that again. That's stupid. Because I did quantitative equality. I was like, oh my god, I got 400 comics for only $400, or 400 trades for only $400. They're all volume 2s and volume 3s and volume 17s. Maybe some were volume 1s or some were complete series. But for the most part, I was like, you know what? Instead of getting House of M, let's get one book. Let's get 3 books for $25 that are volume 3, 4, and 5 of the series. You know, that was dumb to do. I'm glad that I've since stopped doing that. And it was fine with some series that were like, oh, this arc, you can jump in, new readers can jump into this arc. Yeah, it's issues 15 to 20, but new readers can jump in and be just fine. We'll catch you up, and those who want to know everything about everything. But if you just want to, if you know enough about Daredevil, then you can read this arc without knowing too much about Daredevil, or continuity-wise. But anyways, Ultimate X-Men, or it's like a flashback. But anyways, Ultimate X-Men, Volume 1, Mark Millar. Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target 7-issue series written by Brandon Thomas. This is yet another one. I think I have first 5 issues, but 6 and 7 are on the Kindle. Really annoying, yes. But I almost no, I know for a fact I'm on the Kindle. I almost want to say that I got the whole entire series in physical format, but I did not. Absolution Volume 2, Christmas Gage. Next one is the one that I replaced one with. I'm glad I did, because I decided to bite the bullet and finally decide to start reading Kurt Busiek's Conan run from Dark Horse. This is from Marvel. This edition is from Marvel, but the series itself was from Dark Horse. But Marvel bought the rights way back when, and now they belong to what's his face? Okay, so sorry, Kurt Busiek and Fabian Nicieza. Just kind of annoying, whatever. But yeah, Kurt Busiek most importantly. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about this book, and I forgot. Oh, now Titan Comics owns Conan, which is really annoying because you can't get this on a Kindle no more. So you'll never have a Conan sale, and I'll be able to get the rest of the series in Epic Collection format. Whatevs. I have all Kurt Busiek's one. That's the most important part. And honestly, at first, I was all I cared about. And I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, we get the rest of them. Not realizing that series is very long. But I never continued anyways, past the Kurt Busiek run anyway, so it doesn't matter. Next up is Batman Eternal by Various. This is by Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, John Layman, Ray Fox, Tim Seeley, who have all done at least one series for Image. Very cool. That's very cool. Very cool. It's neat. I don't know what I was trying to say. Oh, it's ironic. And I doubt it was planned either. And John Layman is the only author who I don't own anything from him for Image. Be nice if I did, because it would probably mean that I own Shoe. But once the Omnibus has not come out yet. Once the Omnibus comes out, the softcover compendium Omnibus, I will obviously have that in my personal collection. But until then, I haven't got anything John Layman did for Image. Now, is it per issue or what? Let's see. Or is it like... Yeah, so the first issue is written by both Scott Snyder and James Tynion. So I think each issue is written by a different author. It's not like how it was with Future's End, where each issue is written by 4 people. I'm going to switch off. Alright, 2 more. First one being Birds of Prey Huntress by Greg Rucka. Now, I've had the first issue of this book for a long time. I had the first issue of this book for a long time before I got the trade. And for the longest time, ever since I got that book, I thought this series was written by Chuck Dixon. I don't know why. I just always thought that. But yeah, I have issue 1 because it's the DC Dollar Comics in floppy format. That's something I really do not understand why Marvel and DC are not doing anymore. Yes, I'm not getting floppies anymore, so I've fallen out of the game. There'll be a series I've never heard about that'll just suddenly appear. Like your boy Zach will suddenly cover like Captain Marvel, Braver and Mightier, issue 1, 6-issue miniseries written by Chris Claremont and Larry Hama, and it's a flashback series. I have no idea it actually came out because I don't follow these solicitations for anything but Image at all, unless it's trades. Trades I do follow that. But it's still, like, I actually looked up the other day, and they still have not been picked back up. They started doing it back in, like, I'd say the pandemic, starting from, like, 2015, actually even earlier than that, I want to say, to about 2021, and they just stopped after that, or 2022. It was about when I stopped reading comics. It was about when I stopped getting floppies anyways. Not stop reading comics. I'll never stop reading comics. But no, so I stopped buying floppies. Was about the time, I would say at least, that DC and Marvel stopped doing their dollar comics. But it was nice. They give you issue 1 of, like, All-Stars Superman for $1. And then you'd read it and you'd be like, hey, I want to check that trade now. It's just a really, really nice way of getting people into, at least trying to get people into comics. now DC Comics is doing their DC Compact Edition, which is like tiny digest sized, manga sized trades of series like Far Sector, which is all 12 issues of that series put into a manga sized trade for $10. Like that many issues for $10. Cannot go wrong there. So they're trying to get new readers into reading comics. Be like, hey, you read manga. Here's this manga, but it's not manga, and it's Far Sector, or it's Watchmen, or it's Batman Court of Owls. Hey, you like that series? Well, there's 9 more volumes in that series, or you get them either in floppy trades or hardcovers or omnibus. There you go. Have at it. And now we're eating good in the neighborhood because a bunch of people, we got a whole new slew of comic readers. And also Absolute Batman. And the Energon universe has been roping in and has been raking in the viewers and the readers and the sales. Then finally, last but not least, we have Superman Unchained by Scott Snyder. And that, as they say, is that. So Superman Unchained, for the longest time, I thought this was 12 issues. And every now and then, when I think of this series out of the blue, I will think it is, for whatever reason, that it is 12 issues. But it's 9 issues. I just think every issue is like, 48 pages or something like that. Because the trade, this looks like it'd be 12 issues. And it's actually because especially because it's deluxe edition, so it looks like it's a lot bigger than it probably is. It's only 9 issues, but you'd be right and be mistaken. Not that matters, obviously, but it's something probably I need to mention. I had to mention, but I think that's it. Talk about all the books. So yeah, it should be 25. I'm gonna double check, make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. I figured I had a mistake like that. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that, right? No, 16. I have to recount there and I fucked up. 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did fuck up. 25. So what's nice about doing 25, they only have 2 days to do it, yada yada yada, and I'm going to get that all the way through so I can get back to at least 22, because that means 11 per day. In 2 days, I've gone through at least, I've gone through the entire pile at least once more. Well, some are 3 and 4 issues each. So on Monday, I'll probably just focus on the 3 and 4 issue series, get those finished, so I can get that number back to 22. That's how I plan on doing it. And that's how I plan on doing it in general, because I knew I would not have enough time. I still want to celebrate, but I couldn't, didn't have all the library books, and I was just like, a library books to get them down. I was just so conflicted. I was like, you know what? No, we're doing it this way. And there you have it. So, let's say there are 4 series. I don't think that's the case. Let's say there are 4 series that are 4 issues or less, and that's now 21. I will put in a trade. I will put in another trade, but it will be from the Kindle, because I'm really trying to get this iPad storage to go down, and I think eventually, yeah, I'm gonna remove a download of a book just to replace it with another book of the same size, so back to square one. But my hope / expectation is that eventually we will get this down, and then yeah, I'm gonna want to reread some Kindle books, but the hope is that I have it at 15 or 20 books downloaded at one time, and not more. I'll do 25. I'll be the limit, but 25 trades downloaded on the Kindle at one time, no more and no less. But that's a long time coming. So that's why I want to focus on reading those trades, just getting on those trades. I really have been falling far behind on that. So I want to get some trades read on the Kindle. But I want these all be physical, at least at first. And if I do end up doing that, I will probably start by reading Gotham City Monsters, which I only have issue 2 physically, which is the reason why I did that was like I bought some grab bags and it just happened to be in it. It was just issue 2, and I never got the rest of the series until it was on sale on the Kindle, and then I got it. But that, as I say, is that. And hey, for those grab bags, I never would have read Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad, so I am not complaining at all about that. But the grab bags and it being not as cost effective because they're using a bunch of random issues, and you could just get issue 2, 3, 4, and 5 of a series, and then issue 14, and then issue 17, and then issue 25. So it's like out of order, and I don't recommend doing it all the time. What I would say is if the book on the front and the book on the back, like for example, so those little grab bags are, it's a bunch of books put together, and they don't show you what's in the middle or anything like that. They show you what's on the front and what's on the back. So on the front they'll have like Ultimate X-Men issue 1, and the other side they'll have Ultimate Spider-Man issue 1. That is when I say buy that. Not, and then disregard if it's worth any money or anything like that. If they're both issue 1s of a series and actually issue 1 of a series, and it's not just a reboot, I would say go for it. Like, jump on that shit really hard. But other than that, I would say maybe it's too clear. And I would also say, like, and also to only do it if you have some money to spend. Like, we came into that comic shop for, you have $5 extra to spend, and you want to spend it on comics, you can, that's your budget, and you see a grab bag, like, hey, it's grab bag $1 each. And each side it looks like it's just random issues. It looks like they have some sort of theme, like getting caught up on a series, or the first 5 issues, or first 3 issues of a series, or whatever. Or you just have, again, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men on the one side, and the other one has Storm and Firestar on the other side, both issue 1s. Then I'd say get that. But even then, like, I don't know if they're worth it, if they're cheap enough to. But it's been a while since I've done grab bags. I don't even know if comic shops do that anymore. I think what comic shops should do is do a dollar bin. Don't put them into grab bags. Have a long box if you can fit it. Have a long box, a bunch of dollar comics you couldn't sell, unfortunately. Because that is where you rope in guys like me who will get a series I wouldn't ordinarily buy at full price and get the entire series. Like, I could get, like, let's say Strange Adventures by Tom King didn't sell. Imagine how awesome that would have been for me to get all 12 issues of that series for $12. Been perfect. Because sometimes the books that I can't sell isn't just because it's absolute horseshit. Sometimes it's just because they just had too many copies. They bought too much. They thought it would be a popular series, but it wasn't popular enough for their customers, whatever. But that essays that. I think I've prattled on long enough. I will end this video now. It's 40 minutes, so over 40 minutes is almost double the length of the first cut. I am fully satisfied. I am glad I got to film when I got to film. We're losing daylight. It's getting dark. So let's end the video now. I don't know why I'm thinking like that. Yeah, 43 minutes. Yeah, 44. Anyway, I'll make it 45. But yeah. You know what? Let's recount it. Let's make sure I'm... Now I have all the volume 2s and 3s out of the way. Let's see if it actually is 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, also, why didn't I show all the floppies at once? Well, I don't have all with me. And I didn't think that was at all necessary when I already told you guys, hey, guess how many issues this series collects, or this series is. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 rereads. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Damn it, it's 26 books. Uh-oh. Did I not take one out that I was supposed to take out? That doesn't make any sense. How is it 26 books? Because of rows? That should be the case. Alright, so it's 26 books. That's not good. Oh well. I'll make 26 per day. Just add one more. Why not? None of these, I don't think any of these are older than the 2000s, so it's, should go by pretty quick. Even none of them are from a Silver Age. They're all, if like 5 of them were from Silver Age, I would have taken out one, but I guess 26. I like to do 25, because 25 was how much I read per day back when I didn't have a job, and it was no more, no less sometimes. Like, I was like, I want to do 25. Doing any more will be too much, but doing any less won't be enough. So 25. Nice round number. I know it's not like round, not even round, obviously. It's a nice round number, like 75. You know how 75 is a nice round number. 75 years, I'll do a 75th anniversary or 25th anniversary. I guess that was a mentality I had back then. And honestly, like, more times than not, it was really nice. I got a lot of books read, and I just was fully satisfied. It kept my whatever there's a word for it. It's a brain. It's the part of your brain that, like, with addictions, it satisfies that part of your brain. I don't think the word I'm looking for is endorphins. I don't think it's that. But it's that part of your brain that there's a word for it. Let's look it up. Let's ask ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. I don't care if people don't like AI. It's very helpful. Especially when Google is like, we have no idea what you're talking about. ChatGPT is like, I know what you're talking about. Like, exactly what you're talking about. What's the part of your brain that deals with addiction? Specifically, the part that becomes satisfied, satisfied when you keep on the addiction. It was a word I was looking for, but I can't think of it. Alright, let's see. The reward system? Prefrontal cortex? No. There's another word. Maybe it's a phrase? It's commonly used. Let's see. This is the post-credit scene, by the way. Dopamine. That's what it is. The dopamine. So reading 25 books per day was a dopamine that I needed to keep me being satisfied with that addiction. It's like perfect dopamine back then. And now I'm like, it's 11. Now I'm like, 11 comics per day? Awesome. Even on school nights, that was 11 I could manage. Sure, on like days during the week, like Monday through Thursday and on Friday, I hardly had time to do anything else, but I didn't care. Like, I was like, whatever. I ate dinner. I wasn't so addicted to where I skipped meals. I still ate 3 square meals. I still ate 3 square meals a day. Didn't cut class to go read. Didn't do anything like that. And I still got 11 comics read per day. Awesome. Dopamine hit. But yeah. But sometimes, like, again, with this weekend being a 3-day weekend, as of me recording this, by the way, with it being a 3-day weekend, I was like, you know what? Let's make it 25. But again, I think, let's see. Yeah, we're losing daylight and time, and I'm losing time. So 1, 2, 3 are, at least 3 of them are 3 or 4 issue series, respectively. So that's 3 minus 25, that's 24, 23, 22. Exactly 22. Let's go. Actually, no, it won't be, because they're 26. It'll be 23. So I kind of have to take one out, don't I? Unless we have one more that's 4 issues. Please come as the case. It's gotta be the case. Come on, man. Come on now. X-Men, Superman. 4 issues. Sword Type Warrior. Yes, let's go. That's why I did it, guys. I was getting ahead of myself. I wasn't so careless or anything like that. I don't know why it's 26, though. I made sure to make it so it was 25. Unless I miscounted. Must have added one more in and never counted it. Alright, that's it, though. We're now at 15 minutes. It's completely dark now. It definitely is past sundown, so now the lighting is kind of weird. Because if you go, that's showing nighttime. I didn't want to show where I'm living. Where I'm living. I didn't want to show where I live, but does that? It's now dark on the weather app. Why did I show that? Why did I feel I need to show that? I could have just said it was dark on the weather app. I don't even know why I even mean to mention it to begin with. It's dying.